edition. Hump Day is here. September 27, 2023. It is time to panic. Panic, panic, panic. Panic or patience today coming up. We're going to talk about those Las Vegas Raiders. We're going to talk about the Vikings. Then we're going to jump on some bandwagons. All aboard! Let's go, baby. Or we jump on the Saints wagon. But first.
And now, Mike's thoughts.
The Las Vegas Raiders saga continues to grow deeper and deeper and deeper each and every day. Chandler Jones is now coming out and saying that he has been, quote, held in the hospital against his will. He says, I don't want to be there. I'm not crazy. As you guys know, Chandler Jones this offseason has kind of been, I don't want to call him crazy, but something has just been a little bit off with Chandler Jones all season long. Earlier in this offseason, he has been on suicide watch. He has been on 24-hour, 7-day-a-week care. There's somebody looking after Chandler Jones all offseason. He has not stepped foot on the NFL football field. He is pointing all the blame to the Las Vegas Raiders. He's pointing all the blame to other people. But obviously, people close to Chandler Jones thinks something is wrong. People close to Chandler Jones is saying, hey, man, something is just a little bit off. Whether he is being held against his will or not, long story short, my man, take the help where you can get it. People are out there, they're wanting to help you. They are wanting to interject themselves into your life to make sure you don't become a Junior Seau, to make sure you don't become an Aaron Hernandez. You might have CTE. You may not understand, but people on the outside looking in see what is going on. You need the support system in your life. Do not push them away, Chandler Jones. Do not push them away. Understand that we're all here to help you. Understand we want the best for you at the end of the day, and that's beyond football. Chandler Jones, it's okay, man. Accept the help. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. Why I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who's coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches, won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhatcher here with the Man Hour Show. Head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page or check out the blog section as well. New blogs dropping each and every day as well. We got the Week 4 NFL Pick'em live out there right now, guys. So if you guys want to win some dollar bills, head over to facebook.com/Man Hour NFL Talk. Click on that link and bada bing, bada boom. Week 4 NFL Pick'em is there. We did post last week's winner. All transactions have been done. 10 correct picks. And then they did the tiebreaker. They had the correct score. Well, not the correct score, but the closest score to the Bengals versus Rams game. But guys, it is time to jump on the bandwagon or jump off. All aboard segment is here on the Wednesday edition. And then we're going to do panic or patience a day as well. Is it time to panic in Las Vegas? Is it time to panic in Minnesota? Or is it time to slow it down, baby? But first, if you guys have not done so already, please like, comment, and subscribe below. Liking is caring, and I care about you guys all, so I hope you care about me as well. So hit that like button And if you are a member, you enjoyed a great pre-show. We got a opportunity to have some interactions there. If you are a subscriber or a member here on Facebook.com or YouTube.com, we had a great pre-show, guys. So it was a lot of fun. But we do got to welcome Jim Powell into the chat here. Jim Powell is bringing up Justin Streichik. He's the Steelers guy that drove into an oncoming gas truck. So yes, guys, the NFL is a very, very violent game. Yes, it has been deemed the no fun league. Yes, it has been deemed the flag football league now, or the National Flag League or whatever. They have really toned it down, right? But you still get a lot of concussions. You still get a lot of injuries. You still get a lot of stuff that is going inside of your body, inside of your brain that you do not fully comprehend, right? I have been out of the game playing for about, 6-7 years now, right? And it took me 4 or 5 years to understand, like, what my body was telling me. Like, after the game, like, I would be snapping over the stupidest shit, like, but like, oh, the toilet seat set up, I had people in my life, my wife, like, hey, what is wrong? We need to talk about this. Let's go get some help. Figure out an outlet. And Chandler Jones and Justin and, Junior Seau, I'm not saying that they don't have that support system, but understand that people that truly care about you see you changing. People out there that truly care about you and want the best for you truly understand, like, this is a tough game. And, when things change, when things change at a drop at a hat, it's just, whoa, calm down. We got Annabelle Lopez in the chat today. He says Raiders for sure. Raiders are in panic mode. He says we'll be talking about those Raiders. We will be talking about the Las Vegas Raiders. Are they in panic mode or not? We'll be talking about that. But first, guys, I want to introduce a new segment tonight, or today, this morning. It's called All Aboard. It is basically, are we jumping on the bandwagon? Are we buying into it? Or are we stay away from there? We do not want any part of this train ride. So, example, the Dallas Cowboys. Are we jumping on that bandwagon? I'm jumping on. I'm 2 feet on. I'm buckling up. I'm putting on my helmet like helmet on. I'm ready for the ride, baby. But no Dallas Cowboys talk today. Let's start off with the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints are 2-0 right now after they did give up a 17-point lead versus the Green Bay Packers to make them drop to 2-1 on the season. Derek Carr did go out in the third quarter with a apparent AC joint injury. With that being said, guys, are we jumping on the New Orleans Saints bandwagon? Are we buying in to what the Saints are doing right now? So when we look at the New Orleans Saints, guys, I said it last night on the Power Ranking show, like, this is a team that's kind of just been flying under the radar, right? Like, when I was doing my top 10 Power Rankings last night, and when Hoffy, it was XT Gamer brought it up in the chat. He's like, whoa, where are the Saints? I'm like, oh, where are the Saints, right? Like, the Saints are a team that gets overlooked so far this season. The first 3 weeks of the season, we are overlooking them over and over and over again. But we don't have to realize that they have one of the best defenses in the NFL. They are a very good defensive team. Their offense right now is clicky. Like Annabelle does say, or no car, no offense. We will see about that. Because this week, in week 4, Alvin Kamara does come back for the New Orleans Saints. They've been playing very well on the offensive side of the ball. Depending on how big that Derek Carr injury is, or just Derek Carr in general, are we jumping on the Saints bandwagon? Are we buying into what the Saints are doing so far this season? Guys, I am not jumping on the Saints bandwagon as of right now. Yes, they are 2-1 on the season. Yes, they did beat the Titans. They beat the Panthers. Both two teams that are not very good. Let's just be honest. The Titans suck right now. The Panthers are 0-3 for a reason with their rookie quarterback down, and they have 37-year-old Andy Dalton looking better than Bryce Young. And they did lose to the Packers. They were up 17-0 versus the Green Bay Packers. So obviously they gave it away. This week 4 game versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is a huge measuring stick for the Saints. Next week, maybe we might be jumping on that bandwagon. If they can beat the Buccaneers, if they can beat the Patriots, if they can beat the Texans in the next 3 weeks, maybe we might be talking about the Saints a little bit more. But right now, I am not jumping on the Saints bandwagon. I will let the train go by, and maybe when it comes back next week, I might entertain jumping on it. But right now, I'm staying far, far away from it. Guys, let me know. Are you jumping on the Saints bandwagon? Do you like what the Saints are doing? Do you think the Saints are going to possibly win the South? Let me know in the comments below. Lopez says, O-line needs to protect better and open up holes for the run. That is the good thing about Alvin Kamara. He just needs just a little bit of gap. He can slither his way through there, punch his way through there. No pun intended. Or is there? But Alvin Kamara just needs a little bit of slither of hope, and he can make plays happen. So the O-line does need to protect better, but Alvin Kamara is back. Jim says here, Jim Powell says my only vested interest in the Saints is the Raiders were correct in trading Derek Garoppolo. Listen, Jim, I think Derek Carr is a very undervalued quarterback in this league. I think Derek Carr is a quarterback that has been shit on over and over and over, much like Baker Mayfield gets drugged in the mud a lot. For whatever reason, the Raiders organization, coaching staffs, or whatever did not like Derek Carr. Year after year after year, Derek Carr was the center of trade rumors, the center of we don't want you no more, get out of town. But what does he do in the face of adversity week after week after week in Vegas, in LA, in Oakland? He performs. He leads you to the playoffs. Yes, he doesn't win playoff games. He doesn't win championships, but he would lead you to the playoffs. Hell, what was it? 2 years ago, right? Fired coach after 5 weeks. You lost your number one receiver. You cut your starting defensive safety, right? They lost everybody and their dog. No pun intended, right? And Derek Carr says, team, get on my back. We're going to go to the playoffs. And they did well. For whatever, I don't understand why Derek Carr is shit on the way he is. I just don't understand it. Lopez says Jameis Winston will lose the game for them. If Jameis Winston does play versus the Bucs on Sunday, that could be a very interesting storyline. You know, Jameis Winston did play for the Bucs for 3-4 years before he was shipped out of town, said take your 15 or 50 touchdowns elsewhere. I don't know. We'll see. Moving on. On this All Aboard segment here, Wednesday edition of Man Hour NFL Talk. All aboard. Are we jumping on this bandwagon or are we letting the train pass by? And we're going to talk about the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts did beat the Baltimore Ravens in overtime 22-19 last week. My man Gay had 5, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 50-plus yard field goals in that overtime win versus the Ravens. The Colts are now 2-1 on the season and number 10 in my NFL power rankings. So, guys, are we jumping on the Indianapolis Colts bandwagon as of right now? Me, as a resident of Indiana, the beautiful state of Indiana, the Colts are not very much talked about. In the area that I live, it is all about the Tennessee Titans, Cincinnati Bengals, and Lamar Jackson. The Indianapolis Colts are an afterthought. Wait, the Colts are in Indiana? That's kind of weird. We didn't even know we had a professional team. We thought Lamar Jackson and the Cincinnati Bengals were the only teams. I know Lamar Jackson plays for the Ravens, but Lamar Jackson was a Heisman winner here at Louisville and whatever, right? But We have to realize this, guys. The Colts are a team that is living up to expectations finally. Actually, this season, everybody thought the Colts were going to be kind of a bottom feeder team, right? A couple years ago, with this almost the same exact roster minus the quarterback, we were talking about Super Bowl. Can Phillip Rivers be that guy that leads them to the Super Bowl? Can Matt Ryan be that guy to lead them to the Super Bowl? Can Carson Wentz be that guy to lead them to the Super Bowl? Clearly not. But this year they have Gardner Minshew. They have Anthony Richardson. They have a nice young new head coach. And they're 2-1 on the season. And oh, by the way, their best running back hasn't set foot on the field yet. Guys, I am fully aboard this Colts bandwagon. I am 2 feet on, and I am riding it until the wheels fall off. I like what is going on in Indianapolis right now. They don't need Jonathan Taylor to be successful. They need to trade Jonathan Taylor to whatever team that thinks they need him, get that first-round pick, get a receiver, get whatever you want in return, and the Colts are to the moon, baby. The Colts are best team in the AFC South. They're better than the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're better than the Tennessee Titans. They're better than the Houston Texans. The Indianapolis Colts are a playoff-bound team. Now, they're not going to win the Super Bowl by any stretch of the imagination. Don't get it twisted. But they are a very, very good playoff-bound team. They are a team that is going to make some noise. They are a team that I do feel is the 10th best team in the NFL right now. Only going to get better. They do play the Rams this week. Going to be a great game, right? Then they play the Titans, and then they play the Jaguars, and then they play the Browns. A lot of proven games, moving cup for the Indianapolis Colts. I am all aboard this bandwagon. I am jumping on, and I am riding it till the wheels fall off, and you guys should too. Let me know. Are we jumping on the Colts bandwagon? Sorry, a bunch of comments just came rolling in all at once. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to not address your comments, but there's a lot of Raiders talk there, so we're going to come back to that in a second. And Anibal Lopez says, "Oh boy, let that train pass. We don't want the Colts. No, let that train pass, baby." And Colts have always been the little engine that could, but never have. Yes. The Colts have had a really good roster the last 3 seasons, right? They've been literally a quarterback away with Carson Wentz. He's the game changer. Phillip Rivers, he's the game changer. Matt Ryan, he's the game changer. But yeah, no. The Colts are... I'm buying what the Colts are putting me in my mouth right now. I do love me some Colts right now. So let's go ahead and go back to these Rams comments. For whatever reason, guys, the Raiders comments. Lopez says, "Fire McClown." So we actually talked about this last night, if I'm not mistaken. At what point do the Raiders fire Josh McDaniels, right? And if I remember correctly, last night got a little crazy, not gonna lie, but I gave them 4 games, right? I gave them the Chargers, Packers, Patriots, Bears game. If they do not win 2 of those 4 games moving forward, we will be talking about Josh McDaniels possibly finding his way out. There might be some leaked emails, right, of some sexual assault cases back in 1967 or something, right? Something is going to happen. We will be getting more into the Raiders talk here eventually, coming up here in about 15 minutes when we panic or patient mode here. But let's move on to the next all aboard or not. This little train has been chugging along all season long. They surprised us week 1. We're like, whoa, are they that good or the Seahawks that bad? Then they battled versus the 49ers. Kept it a 1-score game most of the game, kind of got away from them toward the end. The Bengals, they battled the Bengals all season long, or all game long, ultimately losing 16 or 19 to 16 in that very odd game. But we're talking about the LA Rams. The Rams right now are 1-2 on the season, but like I just said, they battled literally every game. They have been punching people in the mouth, and they've been taking shots, and they've been giving them right back. So are we jumping on the LA Rams bandwagon right now? So, guys, as you guys know, the Rams do play the Colts this weekend at Indianapolis. They're actually favored in this game to beat the Indianapolis Colts. The primetime number 10 power ranked Indianapolis Colts. They are supposed to beat them. They're supposed to go into Indianapolis and beat the Colts this weekend. Are we jumping on the Colts or the Rams bandwagon? Not yet. Not yet, because I want to see how Cooper Kupp gets integrated back into this offense. I want to see how Cooper Kupp can maybe possibly be that, quote, second fiddle guy, right? I want to see how Cooper Kupp is going to take away from what the success is, right? Now, I'm not saying Cooper Kupp is a bad receiver by any means, but like the Kansas City Chiefs a couple years ago, addition by subtraction is maybe the way for the LA Rams. Maybe it's time to cut ties with Cooper Kupp and send him to the Kansas City Chiefs, send him to the Chicago Bears, send him to some other team, Jacksonville Jaguars, Panthers, somewhere, right? But I am not jumping on the Rams bandwagon. Not because they are not a good team, not because they're not going to battle week in and week out, but look at their schedule moving forward. They do play a good Colts team. Then they turn around and play the Eagles, and then they play a grungy Cardinals team, and then the Steelers, Cowboys, Packers, Seahawks, Cardinals, Browns. Guys, this is not an easy schedule by any stretch of the imagination. As I do think they will be in every game, and they will battle every game, and they might pull a couple out of their hat. Maybe beat a team like the Steelers, maybe beat a team like the Cowboys, and making us want to jump on that bandwagon, start shooting the horn, start to buckle in. But I am not jumping on the LA bandwagon at all. I still think, at best, their ceiling is only 7 wins this season, but their floor is really low. They could not win another game for the rest of the season. They could be a 1-win team. They could be battling. They could be great, but their schedule is tough. Do not jump on the Rams bandwagon as of right now. Actually, not at all. Not at all. Lopez says that they're in rebuild mode. So this offseason for the Rams, I thought they were a complete rebuild team. They were throwing everybody to the wolves, and they're saying we are going to rebuild from the inside out, right? I thought maybe by this week we'll be talking about Matthew Stafford getting traded, Aaron Donald getting traded, Cooper Kupp getting traded. I thought they were just going to totally throw people out to the wolves. But this recent success that the Rams have had is ultimately going to hurt them in the end. Now, what do you mean by this recent success? The recent success of them battling with the 49ers, with battling versus the Bengals, beating the Seahawks. This has given them a little glimmer of hope, which is going to backfire them next year and the year after that. Because right now, Matthew Stafford could go to a team like the New York Jets. He could possibly turn the Jets around right now, make them into a playoff bound team. They're literally a quarterback away. Cooper Kupp, still a very hot topic in the NFL. Triple crown winner just from a couple years ago. Most yards, most receptions, most touchdowns from a receiver. Yes, he does have injury-prone problems, but there's going to be a team out there that think that could take a flyer on him somehow, some way. Aaron Donald, he could be like Von Miller when the Von Miller went from the Broncos to the Rams to win that Super Bowl. Aaron Donald could go to a team and make them an instant Super Bowl contender almost. If the team is like if a team is like right there, you insert Aaron Donald to that defense, he puts them up over the top, i.e. Miami Dolphins, i.e. possibly the Buffalo Bills, i.e. Kansas City Chiefs, right? I do agree with you that the Rams are in rebuild mode. I do agree with you that the Rams will not be successful this season. But this little success that they've had the first quarter of the season is going to come back and bite them in the ass. No more money. Nope, they don't have any money. I think the Jags will start making a run back to the top of the AFC South now that Coach Pederson is taking back over play calling. I did not know Coach Pederson was not calling the plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars. If this is true, maybe we need to start jumping on the Jacksonville Jaguars bandwagon. Maybe XD Gamer from last night on the YouTube show, on the Power Ranking show, maybe I was being a little too hard on him. Maybe I was being a little too hard on XD Gamer last night, telling him that the Jacksonville Jaguars sucks. I did not know that Coach Patterson was not calling the plays. Now, if he is calling the plays moving forward, maybe the Jacksonville Jaguars be that team. But I'm not buying it. I am not buying it. Not so fast. Not so fast. Indy will surprise everyone. Jim says the Super Bowl flu was never more apparent than the last year's Rams squad. The last year's Rams squad was riddled by injuries, though as well, right? Cooper Kupp went down, week 12, week 13. Matthew Stafford was just a shell of himself. Didn't Aaron Donald get hurt as well? Like, everything that could go wrong for the Rams last season went wrong. It was just a very, very bad thing. Jim says the Rams have something to prove this year. I don't think the Rams have something to prove. I think their coach, what is his name, Sean McVay, I think he has something to prove. Because let's flash back to what? March, February timeframe. He was looking to retire. He was looking to step away from the LA Rams. And then they're like, then he's like, let me come back. Let me see what we can do, right? So I think Sean McVay has something to prove. Not the Rams themselves, because they're all rookies, right? They have like 30 plus rookies / 2-year players on that team. So they don't really have anything to prove, but Sean McVay has something to prove. It's hard to trust Coops. It's hard to trust Kupp with his injury history. Yes. But there will be a team out there. If Cooper Kupp does hit the trade wire, there will be teams that are interested in the services of a Cooper Kupp. Whether it be the Kansas City Chiefs, whether it be a team like, I don't know, let's throw some name. Let's think of some teams that are just, they're right there, and that one wide receiver might kind of put them up over the top. Thinking here, the New York Giants. Cooper Kupp too, the Giants could be a hot commodity, right? Let's think about the Chicago Bears. Oh shoot, no, the Bears just don't have a chance about anything. But Cooper Kupp will be a hot commodity to some team out there. If he does hit the trade wire, he will make a team better with or without his injury history. Hopefully, he is ready to do it now. Should the Jets call about Rams Matthew Stafford? So, Hoffy, I think that the Jets should entertain the idea. I think the Jets should offer some type of 1-year deal, because we don't know if Aaron Rodgers is coming back or not, right? And Achilles is hard to come back from no matter your age, but he's 40 plus years old. So we don't even know if that wacky tobacco is going to get Aaron Rodgers right. But if the Jets want to make a legitimate run, if they think they have a Super Bowl team right now, they should be calling the Rams. They should be calling the Cowboys. They should be calling the Denver Broncos, right? Matthew Stafford, Russell Wilson, Trey Lance. 3 quarterbacks that I think would fit perfect into that New York Jets system. But yes, Matthew Stafford to the Jets should happen. Aaron Donald to the Raiders. That is an interesting idea. Because doesn't Chandler Jones and Aaron Donald kind of play that same position? Chandler Jones hasn't stepped foot on the season for his mental issues. Can we say it depends? It depends if the Raiders can win this week versus the Chargers. It depends if the Raiders can, not look terrible. Week 1, they did beat the Broncos. Congratulations, right? But then they got destroyed by the Bills. And then and then they battled the Steelers, right? They are right there. But then they play the Chargers, Packers, Patriots, and Bears. If they can somehow win 3 of those four games, I'm talking about beat the Chargers, beat the Patriots, beat the Bears, lose to the Patriots, put them at that 500 round there, entertain the idea. But I don't think Aaron Donald would want to go to the Raiders. I think if Aaron Donald does get traded or wants to get traded, he would have to go to a team that's in Super Bowl contention. The Miami Dolphins, Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, Dallas Cowboys, right? Some team like that. Trevor Lawrence will be a top 5 quarterback with Pedersen calling the plays. No, he won't, Hoffy. Hoffy's trying to get my goat there and is not going to happen. Nope, not too hard. Nobody cares about Jacksonville. Jim said it, not me. Arthur's in Erie, Pennsylvania. Found a Dolphin. Let's go. Listen, Pennsylvania is the worst state of all time. I'm just calling a spade a spade. You want to see man-sized potholes? Drive through Pennsylvania. What does Pennsylvania have? They have Pittsburgh. They have farmland. They have potholes and methamphetamine. He's taking care of his legacy on his Amazon job is still there. I don't know what you guys talking about there. Scroll down. Get some burrs. Rob is in the chat. Raiders are not making the playoffs this season. I agree with you 100%, Rob. I do not think the Raiders are a playoff-bound team whatsoever. I actually still think the Raiders are possibly a 7-win team. Possibly. But it is what it is. Sounds like a beautiful place to be in, Pennsylvania. Jim says, that's why I moved out of PA. Next team that we're going to talk about, jumping on that bandwagon or jumping off. I was recording that whole time. My bad, guys. Next team we are talking about here are the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals did beat the best team in the NFL last week in the Dallas Cowboys. They not only beat them, they beat them down soundly. They beat them down and said, you know what? Come back for some seconds. We'll give you the 1-2 punch. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, the Cardinals are a team that battled the Commanders, right? 20-16, week 1 there. We're like, whoa, are the Cardinals not that bad or the Commanders that bad, right? Then week number 2, they jump out to that 28-point lead over the New York Football Giants and totally shut the bed in the second half. But week 3, they put it all together. This week, they do play the 49ers and then follow up with the Bengals, Rams, and Seahawks the next 4 weeks. So the Arizona Cardinals, guys, are we jumping on this bandwagon? Are we ready to start buying in like, hey, maybe Jonathan Gannon is the answer. Maybe Josh Dobbs is the answer. Guys, if you are jumping on the Arizona Cardinals bandwagon, you have to be out of your freaking mind. I'm not saying that the Arizona Cardinals are a bad team. I said that a couple years ago, and I pissed off the entire world. I said the cracks are shown. The evidence is here. I don't care if you're 11-0. I don't care if you're 9-0. Green Bay Packers coming to town and whoop that candy ass, and you guys won 1 game for the rest of the season. And I was deemed a hater, Cardinals hater from ever since then. I just call it how I see it. Facts are facts, but the facts are that the Arizona Cardinals do not have an easy schedule this season. They play the 49ers. They play the Bengals. They play the Rams, Seahawks, Ravens, Browns. Oh, it gets even harder. Then they play the Falcons. And then they play the Texans team. Like, oh, the Texans should be an easy win. The Texans just beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. The only game that I can circle on the schedule that they have a chance against is the Chicago Bears. That is legitimately the only time I will be picking the Arizona Cardinals to win that game is a Week 16 game, Week 17 game when they play the Chicago Bears. Guys, the Arizona Cardinals, you should not be jumping on this bandwagon whatsoever. They are battling hard. They are playing for a nice young coach. They are playing, waiting for Kyler Murray to come back and possibly lead them to some victories. But the point of the matter is they are a 2 to 3 win team this season. I like that they're battling. I like that they're trying to put pieces together. I like that they're trying to understand what is going on, right? But at the end of the day, they're still a 2 to 3 win team. You should not be jumping on this bandwagon whatsoever. Do not jump on. That's being optimistic. They surprised me. James says, is Dobbs possibly the next Geno? No, he is not. Now, I'm not saying Joshua Dobbs is a trash-ass quarterback like Lamar Jackson, but Geno Smith had an excellent team around him, an excellent coach around him, right? The Arizona Cardinals do not have that structure right now. They don't have that good receiver core. Yes, they have Rondale Moore and Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown, right? But beyond that, they have no receivers, right? Zach Ertz is a really good tight end, but I feel he is on the downcline of his career. James Conner, you can possibly say, hey, James Conner is the guy, right? Maybe when Maryland Mack comes back from IR, they can have a nice little 1-2 punch, bada bing, bada boom. But Josh Dobbs is not going to be this year's Geno Smith. Josh Dobbs just isn't it, right? He has been in the league for what, 6 years now? Is that what it is? He was drafted back in 2017. So he is 6 years. 6 years in the league. He's played with Pittsburgh. He's played with the Cleveland Browns. He played with the Tennessee Titans. And he got his first victory as a starting NFL quarterback with the Arizona Cardinals. He has a worse record than Justin Fields in the NFL. And that's saying something because Justin Fields is a 5-23 quarterback. Josh Dobbs is not Geno Smith. He is not going to have success this season. If the Arizona Cardinals want to really see what they have in their future, they need to put Clayton Tune in. After this week for the versus San Francisco 49ers, they need to put Clayton Tune in. No, he is trash. Just say it, Buck. I cannot say Josh Dobbs is like trash. I am trying to turn over a new leaf, Hoffy. I am trying to make this a more positive show. Josh Dobbs is not a good quarterback. Josh Dobbs is just not that guy. I don't know why the Cardinals gave him the starting job over Colt McCoy, over Clayton Tune, but Josh Dobbs is not that guy. He's not very good. He is trash. Moving on. Let's move on to the next segment of today's show, guys. We introduced this a little bit last week, and I thought we had some pretty good interaction, some pretty good vibes with this, so we're going to carry it on into Week 4 NFL talk, and that is panic or patience. Do we need to push the panic button, or we need to slow it down, baby? We need to be patient. We need to let it play out. Just like this, my grass outside right now is turning brown. Do I need to panic and water the piss out of it and sod it and seed it and put weed feeder on it? Or do I need to be like, hey, slow down, baby. It's fall. What did I do? I panicked and I watered the piss out of it, and now I have 5-foot tall grass. But guys, it is very, very simple. Panic or patience. Pushing the panic button, or do we need to be patient with these teams moving forward? Let's start off with the 0-3 Minnesota Vikings. After losing to the LA Chargers last week, 28-24, is it time to panic for the Minnesota Vikings? Guys, when we look at the Minnesota Vikings, they were NFC North champions last season. They were a really, really good team, right? No, they had a negative point differential. They won a lot of close games that they should not have won, right? They were not a very good team, and this year it is showing. They trade Dalvin Cook, saying, we don't need no running game. We got this nice little rookie. The rookie shits the bed. They bring in Cam Akers. We'll see what Cam Akers does. Probably shit the bed as well. But guys, it is panic time in Minnesota. If you are a part of the Skull Nation, skull, whatever the hell that means, you need to be pushing the panic button right now. We need a defense. We need to figure it out. We are 0-3. Not only are you 0-3, you have not been playing very good football. Yes, you can say, oh, but the scores show that we are still a one score with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We only lost one score to the Eagles. We only lost one score to the Chargers. Okay, awesome. Let's win those one-score games. The reason why you're losing those one-score games is because your defense is terrible. You have the 28th ranked defense in the NFL right now. 28th ranked defense. The only reason why you've been in any of these games whatsoever is because of JJ. Jefferson has single-handedly been the savior of your guys' season so far. Without JJ, you guys would be being blown out. You guys would probably have 14 points on the whole season. Let's just be honest. But it is panic time in Minnesota. Not only is it panic time, it is probably time to start making a quarterback change. It is time to start making some defensive changes. Because if you do not beat the Carolina Panthers at Carolina next week, you start 0-4. You lose to a rookie quarterback that's got his first win over you. Then you play the Kansas City Chiefs. Going to get that ass whooped. And then you play the Chicago Bears. And if, by golly, if you cannot beat the Chicago Bears, the negative 85-point differential in the Chicago Bears, Justin Fields 5-23 as a starter, if you cannot beat them, something is seriously wrong. It is time to hit the panic button if you are a Minnesota Viking fan right now. Hit that panic button, demand trades. Bring in Matthew Stafford. Bring in Trey Lance. Bring in somebody that is not Kirk Cousins. I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is a bad quarterback. I think Kirk Cousins is a nice mid-tier quarterback. Puts up a lot of stats, puts up a lot of numbers. But for whatever reason, people don't like Kirk Cousins. They don't like him. Bring in somebody maybe somebody likes. Bring in Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford to the Vikings. Oh my God, that would piss off so many Lions fans, and I would love every single minute of it. Del Rey would be pissed. Not Warren G. What am I thinking? Luke G would be pissed. Seeing another great quarterback in the purple and gold, but Matthew Stafford to the Vikings wouldn't make sense. But if you are a Minnesota Vikings fan right now, you should be pushing the panic button. 0-3 is not the way you wanted to start the season. And if you start 0-6, you had the 49ers after that, and the Packers, Falcons, Saints, and Broncos, and Bears again. Oh Lord, a 0-17 season might be coming. Better figure it out right freaking now. Right now. This might be a good trade here. James says trade Cousins to the Jets now. Get a top 3 pick in next year's draft. I don't think you get a top 3 pick in Kirk Cousins. Possibly a second round pick. But the Jets are going to make some type of move, I think. I think the Jets right now are weighing their options. They're weighing Matthew Stafford, Trey Lance, Jameis Winston, Kirk Cousins, Teddy Bridgewater. They are exploring their options. Zach Wilson is not the answer in New York. For whatever reason, he just doesn't have it. He has improved a lot from last season to this season. But Kirk Cousins to the Jets does make sense, but they'll not get a number 1 pick. I'm just calling a spade a spade. They're not going to get that high a pick. What do you mean Cousins is at the helm? What do you mean by that? I'm saying that Kirk Cousins is not a terrible quarterback, but sometimes you got to cut out a mediocre CEO to have a great CEO come in, right? So, Annabelle, when we look at things across the landscape, right, there are sometimes when players just sometimes need a new city around them, a new change of scenery, right? Let's say there is a person like Kirk Cousins that has been a nice, mediocre quarterback at Minnesota for a very, very long time. Been kind of riding this up and down train every year. Just been kind of flatlining it, right? But let's say he goes to a team like the New York Jets. Maybe that new culture, maybe the new city, maybe something might light under him and like catapult his stock going up, right? Let's talk about Odell Beckham Jr., right? He was with the New York Giants, right? He was having those good years, right? 1,000 yards receiving, then he kind of flatlined, kind of got stagnant. Went to Cleveland, still kind of stagnant, right? You can blame Baker, you can blame the coaching staff, you can do whatever you want. Went to the Rams, he went up. Nice change of culture, nice change of scenery. He didn't get better, he didn't get younger. It's just a new city, right? Aaron Rodgers. We haven't seen him at training camp for how long? Like 2017. We saw him at OTAs. We saw him at training camp. We saw him buying to play in some preseason games. It's just sometimes a change of scenery will help older players. James says, no. They will not get a top 3 pick for him. They'll get maybe a second or third, fourth. They'll stop. They'll finish 3-14 and get a top three pick. We are talking about Kirk Cousins to the Jets. Yes, they're not getting a first round pick for Kirk Cousins. I don't care what kind of stats Kirk Cousins is putting up. He is a 35-year-old quarterback, 36-year-old. He is not getting a first-round pick for Kirk Cousins. They are not getting a second, like multiple seconds. They might get a second or a third, but it is what it is. Just say it. He sucks. Kirk Cousins does not suck. Guys, Kirk Cousins does not suck. Kirk Cousins puts up MVP numbers year after year after year. It's just he has been on a mediocre team. The Vikings and the Redskins / Commanders they're just mediocre teams. Kirk Cousins does not suck. But a team that does suck right now, and that's the Las Vegas Raiders. They are now also 1-2 on the season. We've been talking a lot about the Raiders today. Jim, you should be on cloud 9. But sitting at second place in the AFC West right now, Davante Adams says he will not be waiting around for them to, quote, figure it out this season. I am tired of the slow starts. If we don't figure it out, I want out. So, guys, is it time to panic or be patient for the Las Vegas Raiders moving forward? Being 1-2 to start the season, they do travel to LA to take on the Chargers, and then they have the Packers, Patriots, and Bears the next 4 weeks. Is it time to panic or be patient in LA with these comments coming from Davante Adams? Guys, easily Davante Adams is the reason why the Raiders are even relevant right now. Jacoby Myers has not been that great. Hunter Renfrow has not been that great. Josh Jacobs, the last game I watched of him, had 9 carries for -2 yards. Davante Adams does have 322 yards this season with 3 touchdowns on 25 catches. Not terrible. No Tyreek Hill, no Jalen Waddle, no other big names out there, but he is still a top 10 very good receiver. So if I am the Las Vegas Raiders right now, we need to figure out what we want to do with our season moving forward. We need to figure out, are we going to bank on Caleb Williams? Are we going to try to get a first overall pick? Or are we actually going to try to, make some noise? Because this being mediocre crap for the Las Vegas Raiders has to stop now. If I am a Las Vegas Raiders fan, I am pushing the panic button. I want to panic because I want to figure out what we are doing. The only player worth a damn on the whole team, Davante Adams, basically saying that I want out. Listen, You guys have had your time to figure shit out. It is time to put up or shut up. Josh Jacobs is not putting up, and he's not shutting up. The man still wants a big-ass deal. Not going to get it. But when we look at the Las Vegas Raiders, they need to figure out, what are we going to do? Because I don't think Josh McDaniels is the answer. I don't think Jimmy G was the answer for Vegas Raiders as well. I do like some Jimmy G. I just don't think he was the answer for the Raiders. Josh Jacobs, shell of himself. Hunter Renfrow, where has he been? Jacoby Myers, go back to New England, right? Guys, the Raiders need to hit the panic button. They need it hard, and they need to hit it loud. If they do not break the panic button when they hit it, something is wrong. Because what is going to happen is they're going to lose another big-name player. If they do not beat the Chargers or the Bears or the Patriots in the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, they are going to lose Davante Adams. If they do not beat the Chargers this week, Davante Adams is going to be a lot louder. When they get beat down by the Green Bay Packers on Monday Night Football in a couple weeks, they're going to get a lot louder. When they lose to the Patriots in 3 weeks after that, it's going to get louder. Davante Adams is going to be traded by mid-season. Josh McDaniels is going to be fired by mid-season. Josh Jacobs will be like, oh, what do I do with my hands? I don't know. I want that big contract, but I'm rushing for negative 2 yards a game. What do I do? Raiders, hit the panic button. Figure out what you guys want to do. Figure out if you guys want to tank. Figure out if you want to be a 6-win team. Figure out what you want to do. Because right now, I don't see the Las Vegas Raiders winning more than 6 games this season. They do play the Denver Broncos again. They'll probably lose that game. Let's just be honest. They always split with the Broncos. They always split with the Chargers. For whatever reason, they show up for those 2 games, and they like in the other 2, like, They should beat the Bears. They should beat the Jets. That's about it. Their schedule is not favorable by any stretch of the imagination. Packers, Patriots, Lions, Giants, Dolphins, Chiefs, Vikings, Chiefs, Colts, Broncos. Not a very favorable schedule. Panic, panic, panic. Panic at the disco right now in Las Vegas. Scroll back up to all those comments. 3 plays in New York. Cousins equals Derek Carr. I could see that. O'Connell. John, stop calling for O'Connell. It's Brian Boyer tonight. Or Sunday. Brian Hoyer. He is the man. Fire McClown. Adams is home next season. When you say Adams is home next season, do you mean back to Green Bay, or where is Davante Adams from? Is he from like California or something? Fresno State? I mean, he went to Fresno State, but where's he from? Or home as in retired, like I don't want to play no more. I don't know. Lopez says I've been panicking. Ugh. We getting smoked next game. It's going to be a good game. The Raiders always step up for the Chargers one game. I think they'll be just fine. John says he doesn't use Hunter Renfrow enough. Supposed to be an Edelman clone. So, John, if you remember, was it preseason game week 3 or week 4? That the rumor was that Hunter Renfrow was going to get cut / traded to the Saints. Like, everything that I read pointed that Hunter Renfrow was going to be out of Las Vegas. He was either going to get traded or going to get cut. And then just a few days later, he's like, oh, he is on the roster. Like, what? So clearly they don't want Hunter Renfrow there. I don't know why he is on there. Maybe because they needed some credibility of like, we don't hire nothing but felons. We have some white boys that are just not very good. Annabelle says they need a tank. Let's tank. We've been trashed for too long. It's time to tank. Time to tank. Rodgers What are we talking about here? McDouche has to go. So, as I say this about like other teams, right? Say, fire my coach, fire my coach, yada, yada, yada. When we look at the Las Vegas Raiders, if/when you fire Josh McDaniels, what coach do you want? Do you want to bring in the next young, hot offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore? Do you want to bring in a Dan Quinn? Or do you want to go out there and try to get a crafty veteran, Sean Payton? Or do you even want to make a bigger stretch? Make that big splash. Go to Boulder, Colorado, and bring in Coach Prime. If Coach Prime goes to the NFL, he'll be worse than Pete Carroll in the NFL his first time around. Just calling a spade a spade. He will not be a very good NFL coach, I don't think. But if you fire Josh McDaniels, or when you do fire Josh McDaniels, what do the Raiders do? Do they hire from within? Do they bring back an old legend, Bill Cowher, Rex Ryan? Or do they try to go get the next hot young coordinator, Eric Bieniemy, Matt Nagy, somebody? What do they do? What do they do? John says John Gruden. I don't think John Gruden can work in the NFL like anymore after those emails got leaked from 1996. As a Chiefs fan, I do not want to see John Gruden in Vegas because he was starting to turn things around in Vegas. And the NFL is like, whoa, we cannot be having them be good. John Gruden, we found these emails from 1996 about you saying cheerleaders look good. Jack Del Rio, he says. Has Jack Del Rio ever been successful in the NFL after he left? Again? Huh. It was a setup from Gradell. Exactly right. He proved himself innocent. How did he prove himself innocent? He sent the emails. Like, we can get into that. General manager. Who would be a good general manager? John Elway? I don't know. Just saying. That'll be it for today's show, guys. Thank you for everybody that tuned in. Thank you guys for interacting with me today on this beautiful September 27th. We'll be back tomorrow. Talk a little bit about Detroit Lions taking on the Green Bay Packers. Some more must-win Week 4 games. We're going to talk about that and much, much more, guys, tomorrow on Man Hour NFL Talk. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Have a great day.